This is still an introduction to what we're going to talk about probably this whole year, little by little, okay? But while we're doing this, there are certain questions you want to ask yourself, not only when we're doing this, okay, but certain questions you want to ask yourself when you hear anything. Whether I'm saying it, you saw it in a TV show, you hear it in the news, you read it in the book. These are just things you want to ask yourself, okay? When you hear something, number one question is going to be,
does that make sense? Does that make sense? And my mind read it. Does that make sense?
okay?
Question mark.
So if you hear something, does that make sense? Wear your mask, otherwise you're going to get people sick. Get a vaccination so that you don't cause others to get sick. Right? So you're going to ask yourself, and always along the way, does that make sense? Anytime you hear something, does that make sense? Okay? So does that make sense? Another question number 2 you're going to ask yourself, is that
possible?
Is that possible?
Possible.
Ah, you oughta. Is that possible?
Is it?
Okay. Is that possible? Okay, and then third question is going to be, what if
That's possible? True.
Is that possible?
What if that's true? The reason you want to ask yourself is, like, is that possible? Example, the pyramids. The pyramids were made by Egyptians. Egyptian slaves were able to lift 100-ton blocks that no crane in the world could lift today.
Maybe they were just like buff dudes.
Is it possible that the pyramids were made by something else? Is it possible?
Yeah, it could be.
Now, what does that do? It breaks you out of the thinking in the box thinking. I'm at a bad angle. If, for example, if we're in the box and the pyramids were made by slaves, does that answer any questions of reality? How were slaves, even if you had 1 million slaves, how were they able to get 1 million hands on a block and lift them? How did slaves get 100-ton blocks up to the top? So basically, what if slaves didn't make it?
I made it.
Is it possible that slaves didn't make it?
Yeah.
And when you can say yes to this one, then the next question opens up. Can it be made by someone else?
Yeah.
What if that's true? It was made by somebody else. Now all of a sudden you're not in the box thinking. You're thinking out here. Out here, you're thinking. You can think. Now your thinking can be expanded to anywhere. Let's figure out what really happened. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now you're unconfined by the rules of what they want you to do. Now you can really discover what really happened, because now you're not confined to that. So what if that's true? Then what if that's true? What if that's true? And as you find more facts out, you're able to discover better pieces to fit in your puzzle that make more sense. Okay? Let's go back here. So we're going to keep coming back to this, through the whole year. Okay. We're learning how to learn. We're learning that if you want to learn in the box learning, you're having to obey, and you are being basically controlled to obey. Learn what we want you to learn. But when you're thinking out of the box learning, you're trying to discover the meaning of life, the purpose of being, what does this give you? Let me get down here. Freedom to learn what? The truth.
Yes.
So the three questions we want to keep in mind the whole time we're doing all this learning is, does that make sense? Is that possible?
No.
And what if that's true? Okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So now we're going to go back. We're going to take it in a different direction. Let's say, for example, we talked about a minute ago that the world of the universe is supposedly billions of years old. Right? And we're told that we've only been here 7,000 years. Okay, let's take that for example. We've only been here 7,000 years, and we're the most advanced civilization in the entire universe. Does that make any sense at all? No. The universe is billions of years old. The world is billions of years old. We've been here 7,000 years from Adam and Eve till now, and we're the most advanced civilization in the world. Doesn't make any sense at all, right? So that's the first question. This fails the topic. So now let's say this. Now we're going to answer the next question. Is this possible? What I'm going to tell you, is this possible?
Let's see.
What if? What if people, or we, let's put we, or people. Let's say, for example, just hypothetically saying, 10 million years ago, now remember, if the universe is billions of years old, 10 million years is nothing. 10 million years is nothing. The difference between this is like, if you had $1,000, this would be $10. $10 to 1,000 is nothing, right? So if the universe is billions of years old, what if 10 million years ago the world did exist and people were here? What if 10 million years ago people were 100 feet tall, lived 10,000 years? What if trees were 3 miles tall? Right?
Big tree.
What if there were no diseases, no sickness, no viruses? No sickness, no diseases, no viruses. What if people could self-heal? What if they could teleport, fly, time travel? Just what if?
Then they would be 100 feet tall.
What if people back here never needed, no need to eat? No need to use bathroom. So what if they just absorbed energy from the air? Okay. What if that happened? What if all this was true? 10 million years ago, this was all true. Okay? Now, let's say this. What if you were, and this was good people. This was good people, or just good. What if a bad people came? Whoops. Let's just say evil. What if evil people came and they said, we like this planet, we like this world, we want to take it for ourselves. But these people are too strong. Okay, they want the world. These people live for 100,000 years. So they live longer and they want to take the world. And they have all the time that they need to destroy these people. What if they lived a lot longer than us? And they said, like, we don't care how long it takes, we're going to take this world. And what we have to do is eliminate these things from these people one by one. What would they have to do? Okay, manipulate. Or I touch my iPhone. Manipulate or alter the beliefs and the reality around them.
What the heck, man? I think you're forgetting an age. Excuse me.
Right?
Yes.
So we'd have to alter the beliefs and reality around them. So what would you have to do? You'd have to pick at this one by one. Pick at this one by one. What would be the easiest way to do it? Number one, you'd have to probably change this as a start. So if you were an evil being, an evil population, maybe you would have to create diseases, create sicknesses, create viruses, eliminate self-healing. So what if, is it possible, if these people had all the time in the universe, millions of years, all they would have to do is poison everything. Okay, I'm getting to a point here in a second.
Yeah.
What's everything? What would you have to poison? Okay, let's start with everything. Yeah, everything, but let's start with food.
But they did eat.
Not yet. Okay, what would you have to do then? What did they do? They did breathe, right?
It's in the air.
So you'd poison the air, the soil.
Dirt. Throw dirt at people?
There's also, see, this is getting more like really in depth that you guys don't understand yet. How I keep telling you about the world is filled with vibrations. The phone, the music is all producing at a frequency, and there are certain frequencies that heal, and there are certain frequencies that cause disease.
Yeah.
Back, I think, in the early 1900s, the same time with Rockefeller and all these criminals, they changed the frequency of music to make it so that it doesn't heal, it makes you sick. Back in the olden days, all of the cities and buildings and churches used to have bells. The bells were important because the bells were at a healing frequency, and all the pipe organs in the churches. People used to go to churches and buildings to hear the bells and the pipe organs, not to praise God, but to heal. just by being there with the vibrations, your body would heal and realign with nature. You'd live longer, you'd be healthier, and you'd be cured from diseases from the vibrations. Could the bad guys have that? No, you have to eliminate that. They destroyed through war all the bells, all the churches, all the pipe organs to remove the good vibrations. Then they changed all the music to a disease-causing vibration. So you have to change the frequency, vibration, vibes. Like how everybody says positive vibes, negative vibes? Yeah. That's exactly what we're talking about, vibrations. Certain vibrations heal, certain vibrations cause sickness. So one of the first things you do is you want to cause disease, poison the air, the soil, and the frequencies so that they cause to get sick. Now you're sick. Now we're going to introduce medications that you have to take in your mouth, and we're going to introduce food, and we're going to poison the food, the water, the air, the medications, the frequencies, the medical schools, the schools, the politics, the banking, the monetary system, everything. So when you see the airplanes flying over, spraying, they're poisoning the air. That goes into the soil, poisons the soil. The bad guys buy up all the food companies, put chemicals in the food. They poison the vaccinations, the medicines. By all the way, if you do all this stuff and all of a sudden, we're not living this, everything starts to decrease. So basically, again, we're going to go back to our questions. Is it possible this could happen? Possible, okay? Let me back up here. So I want you to keep in mind what I just showed you here.
Yes.
Okay?
In my mind.
Because I'm going to show you things along the way that you're going to go, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. How'd that get here? Like if you look online, there's certain buildings, like this is why and one of the reasons why they had World War II, World War I, to destroy the buildings. There are buildings that have doorways that are 100 feet high, and the doorknobs are way up there. And people will say that they did it architecturally to make it interesting. But what if it was 100-foot? What if it was 100 foot? There are buildings. If you look online, you'll see buildings, and as you look for stuff, like I told you before, as you look for stuff, you'll find more and more. If you explore there's a civilization called Tartaria, okay, Tartaria, that existed in what's Russia right now and part of China. They had buildings that were so massive, with massive doorways, massive hallways to walk through, that looked like they were made for giants.
Like this house, man.
They also had in the buildings, there was no kitchen and no bathrooms. And they had very, very high energy frequencies. And they are theorizing that the beings who used to live there didn't have to eat or use the bathroom. They absorbed energy from the building to live. They were huge. And some of those buildings still exist, but they destroyed many of them. Some of those buildings still exist. Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a reason that they're there. Now, I was going to say something. I lost my train of thought. So basically, we're trying to say, is it possible that all this stuff, and that all this was taken away from us by a civilization of evil who pieced away at it from year after year after year after year? There are also out there, a lot of people believe. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple of theories just so you can question everything. There are people who believe that mountains weren't created by tectonic plates underground. That mountains were literally 100 and 1,000-foot giants that died many years ago, fell down, and they became mountains. You'll see some videos online of mountains that look like dragons, face, spine, everything, where it looks like a petrified dragon. there are also mountains that look like humongous giant tree stumps, where some being cut it off, like there's just field, nothing around, and then one mountain in the middle of nowhere that looks like a tree stump. It's cut flat off on the top, looks like a tree stump. It looks like it's possible that there was a 3-mile high tree and someone cut it off and it petrified. Okay? Now, let's do this. So I want you to keep in mind, what if this was true? And if you're an evil being that all the time in the world and you wanted the planet, all you would have to do is piece away at everything. Then all of a sudden, people are only 6 feet tall, only live 80 years. Trees are only 100 feet tall. The world is filled with diseases, sicknesses, viruses, illnesses. We don't heal anymore. We can't teleport, fly, time travel. We need to eat constantly so that they can put more poison in, and we need to use the bathroom, and we get sick, and we die. Okay? So if you had all the time in the world, you could piece away and change an entire species if you had 1 million years to do it. Okay. Now, okay. Let's do this. We talked about a minute ago this Tartaria. And if you look up online, you'll see kinds of buildings, these very fancy buildings, huge, tall buildings, right? And a lot of these buildings will have these, these weird points on top. Yes. Yeah. And these monstrous archways. They're like rods. Where a person is just like this big. And that's the doorway to get in. Yeah. And here you see these rods and stuff up here. And they're beautiful buildings. And contractors today say they couldn't create those buildings today. My butt cheeks do. They do. Also in this time, let me see. It's Tartaria. It was where Russia is right now. Okay? The buildings again were huge, monstrous. No bathrooms, no kitchens. Had these poles, and they've also had inside of them chambers of liquid mercury. What is that? Liquid mercury. It's something with the swirling mercury that creates an electrical current that makes the whole building vibrate, and anybody near it gets healed. If you look online, there are actual videos of these cities, and there are cars driving around, no gas. They're driving around with battery cars, but no batteries. They're electrical. They're gathering energy from the building. There's light poles with light, no wires. There's battery cars driving around. Not battery, I'm sorry, I should say electrical cars driving around. No batteries. Why? They're gathering energy from the air because it's advanced civilization. Now, if you were a bad guy, what would you have to do? How can you make money if there's no wires and no gas? You can't. You'd have to destroy this whole civilization, right? Also, did you ever hear of a thing called dirigible? It's basically a blimp. A what? A blimp. A blimp? If you look in videos or if you look in pictures of Tartaria, there are these giant, massive blimps everywhere. Huh? Zeppelins. Yeah. But listen, they tried to get you to believe that these don't exist anymore because they were dangerous and because they only carried a few people in here, like maybe 10 people. They actually carried thousands of people. They were massive. This whole thing was in here, was filled. It was almost like an ocean liner, like a cruise ship. They had kitchens, bedrooms, living rooms, ballrooms. They were massive, and they floated around. They were slower than an airplane, but they carried way more people than an airplane. And they can go from New York to England in 2 days instead of a ship taking 3 weeks or a month. They can get to places faster than a ship, safer than a ship and carry more people, and they were everywhere. Not necessarily. That's what they wanted you to believe. Again, no, they were everywhere. But if they were powered by, like for example, here in France, I'm just going to like this. The Eiffel Tower. Wow. The Eiffel Tower. They try to get you to believe that that was created just for a design. No, it was a charging station. It was a charging station. People would also come up the elevator and go inside. That's how they would get into it. And these kind of towers were all over the world. So people would get into them. The bad guys couldn't make any money off of this because the energy came from the air. It was free. So if in order to sell you on airplane travel or on ship travel or on bus travel, they had to get rid of these. Does that make sense? So when you start looking up stuff like this, you're going to start seeing, oh my God, those things really existed, and they did exist. Now, here, I'll give you another thing to question.
Yes. Give me more.
Okay. All we're trying to do now is open up your mind to seeing that there are stuff out there that they don't want you to know, and there's a reason they don't want you to know. You hear of the Wall of China?
Yeah.
How much do you know of the Wall of China?
That is huge.
Okay. And what was the purpose of it?
I don't know. It's huge.
You have to like block two sides of China from battling.
History will tell you that the China Wall was made by China, and it was to keep the Mongolians out. Remember Mulan? The movie Mulan? Right? Huh?
That was the Huns, but
Mongols.
Mongols, same thing. They're the same thing, aren't they?
Same thing. It doesn't matter. It's still China.
But that's what they try to get you to believe. But here's the fact. The China Wall of China is 13,000 miles long.
Yeah, 13 miles. 13 miles.
That's 4 times bigger than across the United States. That's 4 times the United States.
Why is China so big?
But here is the biggest mystery that they don't tell you. They want you to believe, again, China made it, don't question, keep the Mongols out. That's it. But the Wall of China, like here, the wall is put on a mountain.
I'm not master China.
Right. Now the wall is here, on the mountain.
Pretty big wall.
And one side is pretty level, the other side is deep. So they put it on the top of a mountain. When we studied,
It's a dam.
wait, no. We studied before, remember, the art of war. And the art of war, what's the toughest battle to do in art of war?
On a mountain.
What's the toughest, huh?
On a mountain or hill.
Who's got the toughest one? The one who's on top of the mountain or the one who's going up the mountain? So whoever's coming up, this is the toughest battle you can ever do in war, is trying to battle up a mountain. Right? Right?
Yes.
So if you wanted to protect the country, you'll put your walls where your soldiers are and your archers are, like up here on top of the mountain, so you can just kill them right there. And plus you can get reinforcements back and forth here like crazy, right? Right?
Yeah.
So what would be the best site for China to be on?
This one.
Right here, right?
Yes. Were they down there?
In reality, China is down there. Who in their right mind would build the wall on the mountain where the enemy had the advantage?
Maybe they just weren't enemies.
What makes more sense?
But they weren't enemies.
Was China trying to keep somebody out, or was someone trying to keep somebody from coming from the other side?
Yeah, that one.
Who was on this side? Tartaria.
Russia?
My Little Pony.
Well, Tartaria was all over the place. It was huge. Believe it or not, Tartaria was actually in the United States before Columbus ever got here.
Then he stole the land. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding.
There was something in China that the Tartarians were trying to protect from. Don't get over here. We don't. And they spent many, many years to make 13,000 miles of wall to keep something out of China in there. What's China famous for?
Making America products.
Besides that,
I don't know.
historically, when you go to Chinatown and you see New Year's, what do they have a lot of?
Yes, that.
But when you the drums going, dragons and monsters.
Vibrations and stuff. The drums go, monsters. Monsters.
Because you see the dragons, but you also see they were known to have all kinds of mythical beasts.
Like unicorns.
So is it possible? You'll see some movies. I don't know if who was watching me. Me, mom, and we were watching a movie. It was here's another what if. Is it possible? Huh?
Wait, you were talking about a movie. Now you're talking about
yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
We talked about many times before that a lot of times they make movies that they're really not that creative. They're using mythological, because one of the subjects we're going to talk about is mythology. Are the stories in Greek, Roman,
yes, I love those.
mythology, are they real or are they just stories? Right? If you were a people, a primitive people, let's take it back up. If you were a primitive people that didn't have computers, didn't have video games, didn't have games, you were sitting around, all you had to do was farm, hunt, feed your people. Would you tell fantasy stories? Or would you tell stories that really happened?
I mean, if that was a farmer.
Did Jesus, when Jesus was here, did he try to tell fantasy stories? Like, did he make up stories of Lord of the Rings and all kinds of weirdo stories of zombies and, No, he told you what the world was really supposed to be like and what you should plan for in the future. So if you were in a historical ancient civilization without TVs and you wouldn't necessarily want to entertain the people with fake bullcrap stories. Why would you have time to do that? You have to farm the food, gather food in the forest, hunt animals to feed your people, protect them from roaming tribes, and any stories you told around the fire would be stories that are important. Probably because they're real, right?
Yes.
So you would tell your people stories that are real. So the movies we have today, a lot of the movies we have today are based not on mythology, but are based on real historical stories that were probably written down on clay tablets that they're pretending are mythology and fake, but in this area they might be real. There is a movie Mom and me watched recently. It's a historical movie, and a lot of the ancient Chinese movies will talk to you. We'll have all kinds of mythical creatures and monsters, dragons. We watched one where it was a civilization of ancient Chinese, were awesome fighters, all kinds of crazy weapons that were on the top of a tower, on top of a mountain, and these monsters and dragons and zombies and wolfmen and lizardmen kept trying to get in there and kill them. And all they had to do was defend the wall. What if that story was true? Is it possible? What if it's true? Is it possible? Would it make the whole wall of China theory make more sense than China is down here and can defend from over here? That makes sense? Now what makes more sense? Tartaria, or somebody, even if it wasn't Tartaria, somebody who lived up here was trying to keep whatever's in China or whatever was in China. It might not be the Chinese, might not be Tartarian, but somebody up here was trying to keep whatever that was in China from coming in. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to get you to the ideas. We're not going to These are huge topics on their own. I'm just trying to have you say to yourself, if someone says Great Wall of China, blah, 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 how come, why would China be down here? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Anybody, you guys remember the movie we used to watch, the series we used to watch? No. Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones? Well, there was Game of Thrones. We watched the whole series of Game of Thrones, and one of the big things in Game of Thrones is the whole world, according to Game of Thrones. Ah, shit, man, it's too big. No. The whole civilization of Game of Thrones was on this side of an ice wall.
Ice wall? Oh, was it?
And it was all kinds of worlds. It was all kinds of worlds, all kinds of civilizations, all kinds of neat weapons, all kinds of dragons. Game of Thrones. Okay, now, the whole theory behind it was there's an ice wall that separated an evil people or a people from everyone else. And they said, you don't want to go on that side of the wall. And if there's a breach in the wall and we have to guard this wall, what's the ice wall in our world? What's the ice wall in our world?
In our world?
Here.
Like government.
Look up.
Like the
No.
USA?
Look up on the phone for a quick. Go to the internet and look up ice wall. See, remember how I talked about before? Is when you're questioning something, just look it up.
Like USA?
No, just ice wall.
Ice wall. Ice wall, 2 words.
The wall from the wall block.
AI summary.
Mexico.
Are you joking?
The wall.
What do you got?
Not images.
Mexico to US.
No.
Ice wall can refer to an edge of ice, shelf, and
Shelf.
Yeah, not the AI overview.
Now the
Yeah.
AI overview is the most
It's
helpful.
AI. You just said not to.
No, image eyes. Click images. What's the ice wall?
Glaciers.
No, it's Antarctica. This is Antarctica. And that's the ice wall. And Antarctica is not all covered in ice. Once you pass the wall, there's green fields and cities again. They just don't let you pass the wall because they don't want you to see it. But there's an ice wall that goes around that separates us from, I shouldn't say our EO people, the other people. Okay? Again, that's just something to be aware of. Okay? Now let's go another one here. And you can easily search, and then as you search, you can let me do that. As you search, you can look more into it more, because what happens when you search one word, you put ice wall, and you go, oh my God, that's Antarctica. You'll search Antarctica. Oh my God. And you put, is there other people in Antarctica? And then as you search and search, you'll discover more and more and more. Why do some people never discover that stuff?
We're not allowed to.
Not allowed to, or why don't they even look?
Because they want to be told what.
Maybe they're afraid to, or they don't believe in it, or they don't want to know. Are you going to find out the truth if you don't look?
No.
No. How? Okay. Now, a little while ago, we talked about the pyramids. Okay. Right? 450 feet, that's about 45 stories. That's still tall. 45 stories. That's about half as tall as the Empire State Building in New York. It's taller than the Statue of Liberty. I think the Statue of Liberty is 350 feet. Okay? But that's tall. That's pretty tall. Okay? And the history is trying to say to you that this was put here as a tomb to bury a pharaoh, but no tombs were ever discovered. Okay? No tombs were ever discovered. It's also trying to tell you that slaves built it by carrying 100-ton blocks up 45 stories. Okay? But what they have just recently discovered by doing electronic sonograms of the ground is that underneath here, there are these giant coils that are in these long cylinders that go down 3 miles. And there's a set of like 12 of them underneath.
So if they really wanted to, they can launch them.
12 coils. Did the Egyptian slaves do that too?
I did. No.
And why would they do that? So does
frequencies. Sorry.
Maybe somebody else made it and had frequencies involved. Maybe it was some kind of a generator that took energy from the ground, transmitted it up to a point, and this is supposed to be crystal on top. You see how the pyramid in Las Vegas here? Luxor. You think they do that on purpose? You think they don't know something that we don't know? That's crystal up on top, and it emits some kind of energy beam into space when it's turned on. What are these there for? There's 12 of these 3-mile-long coils underneath that go down 3 miles. Can slaves have possibly done that? No. So is it possible? Is it possible that the ultimate, that this is not a tomb, that this was created by somebody else?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to get to the point now. That's possible. To open up your mind that that's possible, that that's not what the story they told us is not true. Okay? Okay, you getting the point so far?
Yes.
Okay. Here's another one. You'll see videos on this too. You ever see videos of like these green, like lush mountains?
The what?
Green, like lush mountains of there's like vegetation all over it, vegetation. And then there's these waterfalls that just come down. Right?
That's great. Yes.
Where does the water come from?
Underground.
Underground. Sea level is down here.
Wow, nice job.
Well, water really does come from.
Right, it does, but
Rain?
Mm.
Let the rain.
They're not raining constantly.
I don't know.
Okay, see, that's the questions you want to answer. Where does the water come from? Some of them just.
You're a well. It's a natural mountain.
You will see sometimes. Here, let me just do it this. If this is the ground level, water is underneath ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when we lived, sometimes the water is shallow, sometimes it's deeper. Our well here goes down 400 feet. It's deep.
That's like a pyramid, dude.
Because we're in a desert, so the water is deep. But once you go down that far, there's water. In some places, like in Illinois, where we used to live from, the well was like right there. You'd go down like 10 feet. You put 10 feet, and the water was right there.
Great.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, you'll see videos online where there'll be a tree. Let's just do this. Okay? That is
Stop.
300 years old or more. Okay?
Yes.
And what will happen is sometimes the tree is so old that when they cut it, water is just spurting up here.
Oh my god.
And it doesn't stop. It spurts up for weeks. Sometimes forever.
Wait.
Why?
How? If it's storing water, how does it continuously?
Because it has a lot of water
In its roots?
Yes.
The older the tree gets, the deeper the roots get.
Yeah.
And if the roots can get deep enough and it's absorbing water constantly, and the water is being driven up the tree, what would happen if you remove the tree?
Water.
Right. The water's going to keep going. Now, if it's a tree like a palm tree, you know, if it's a palm tree, the roots go down maybe I don't know 5-10 feet. Are they going to hit water?
Maybe not.
They're going to find water. They're going to in the little veins of the tree, the little roots. They're going to find water enough to get to the tree. But are they going to find a gusher, like a geyser of water? No. So when you cut that tree off, nothing happens. But if the tree is 300 years old and it's so tall and it's gotten so deep that it's tapped into the well, and you cut it off, the water is going to sport up like a waterfall for a long time.
So there's just a bunch of trees on the mountains
that are old trees that probably had roots that went all the way down.
Right. So if we relate that to the giants or whatever.
See, because what I'm trying to get to the point is there's some stuff in nature that doesn't explain, and they'll say, "Don't worry about it, ignore it." But then if I ignore it, then I don't. The puzzle pieces don't fit into my puzzle. The only way you get your puzzle to look like the way they want you to look at it is you have to ignore some pieces that belong in your puzzle. You know what I'm saying? And we don't. We want the puzzle pieces to be correct. So we have to remove the bad ones that don't make any sense and put in the ones that do make sense. Now, there are some, I did this too. When I was a kid, my parents took me to a place called Devil's Head Mountain.
That's a great story.
Oh, it's the one with that looks
Look
like
it up on the phone.
And it has a bunch of scratches and stuff.
And there's nothing for miles. Nothing. It's just field, open field, nothing.
Wasn't there like
Look it up, honey. Look it up on the phone. Devil's Head.
Wasn't there a story of like a giant bear?
That's what they say. If you go there, there's a plaque there that says some giant bear scratched. They say the tectonic plates move this up out of nowhere, a mountain, and then some giant bear came and scratched it.
It said that
and that's the story they want you to believe. But does that make sense? What was the other story you're gonna say? Devil's Tower.
Is this tower?
There.
Let me take a peek. Wow, that's so cute.
And there's nothing around for miles. But if you look online, there's, like I said, there's thousands of these all over the world. And it looks like a tree stump, and it's completely cut off.
Yeah.
Is it possible that these are one of those ancient trees that were 3, 4, 5 miles tall, and some huge creature that was 100 or 1,000 feet tall chopped it off?
Could be.
Maybe.
And is it possible? There's a movie. I don't know who watched the movie with me. Mom watched it with me. I think it was called Noah. It's a brand new movie about Noah's Ark. It's a brand new movie about Noah's Ark. But when we read that chapter 2, the Bible didn't necessarily said it rained for 40 days in sight. The water flowed for 4 days and 40 nights. But in the movie, what happened was it never rained. Water sported from the ground. All this water that was under here just sported from the ground. Is it possible that something cut off all the trees and all this water just volcanoed up and flooded the earth? I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm saying it's possible.
I mean, could be, but then he wouldn't have enough time to make the boat.
Unless he got warning again, saying, I'm going to remove the trees. Maybe God just cut the trees and said, you never know what happened. Is it possible, though? But is it more likely that tectonic plates moved this up, some Indians ran up there and a bear chased them and scratched the mountain?
Sure.
Or is it more likely that used to be a tree stump 100 million years ago? Okay. Couple more things. This we won't look up, but maybe you can look it up on the phone. Here, look up.
We're not gonna look it up.
Archaeology giant.
Archaeology giant.
That's fine. Search.
Oh no.
What is
actually,
this?
There's a bunch of skulls and stuff.
This?
Yeah, is there a person sitting by it? Well, just look at the pictures here. There's a lot of them. Sometimes they'll put a person by it.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
But there are a lot of archaeological finds where they'll dig up a skeleton that looks like it could have been 100 feet tall or taller,
There's a person.
and they're digging it up.
What is that?
Based on the history we know, does that make sense? Alex? Based on the history we know, does it make sense there's 100-foot people around? On the history we know.
We know that.
No. And what happens to? What happens to? Does anybody? Do you guys know what happens?
Touching it.
Ange,
What happened?
do you guys know what happens when an archaeological find finds one of those things? What happens?
Or the government takes it and hides it in
Government takes it. Remember the movie we saw, the Indiana Jones? What happened was they found the Ark of the Covenant. They put it in the box.
Hid it in
Why is it
a
that one?
warehouse.
What is that?
What's the warehouse? Remember what the warehouse was?
What is that one?
Who took it?
Somewhere in the city.
The Smithsonian Institute.
Close enough.
The Smithsonian Institute is supposed to be a museum, but what they do is they confiscate archaeological finds that they don't want to know about to hide the secret of something. And they have warehouses all over the place. You see that?
It looks a little bit edited.
There's hundreds of those. But there's warehouses all over the place that are hiding archaeological finds so that you don't discover the truth. Do you guys get my point at least?
Yes.
We're trying to say the world is not as simple as mythology that bears chased an Indian onion up there.
Indian.
That there is a more logical explanation if you think outside of the box. Make sense?
Yeah.
That the world is not 7,000 years old, that it's millions and billions of years old, and we are not likely the most advanced civilization. There most likely was way more advanced civilizations than us that were taken away from us because of some bad people that didn't want us to know, that wanted us to get back in the box. Okay? So we're going to stop this in a minute at this point, but we are trying to learn by asking the questions, does that make sense when we hear something? Not only when we're learning here, but when you hear something in the news or on Facebook or on TikTok, does that make sense? Is this possible? What if that's true? You see